It's here again. Royal Ascot 2024. 35 races, 8 Group 1s, 7 Group 2s, a dozen or more top handicaps, £10 million in prize money. Stars from the UK, from America, from Australia, from all over Europe. Where else would you rather be? I'm happy to be joined by Simon Mapletoft and Maddie Plale. Maddie, you look fantastic. Simon, you don't look so bad yourself. What are you looking forward to most on day one, Simon?
Exciting day. I think the explosive big Evs in the King's Stand, now the King Charles III Stakes, really looking forward to seeing him back on the track, and a mouth-watering St James's Palace.
Maddie?
Well, just to be different, Graham, I'm going to go with the Coventry Stakes. It's the 2-year-olds, it's the stars of the future. Can't wait to see who's going to be unearthed in that contest.
How about this for a start? Group 1, 1,600 metres, the Queen Anne Stakes, a historic race. Let's have a look at the runners and riders, and it is a star-studded field. Audience stole away with the Group 1 Lock-in Stakes at Newbury last time. Further down, Brave Emperor. He didn't shine in Hong Kong, but he's very tough. Sharon is a key player here. He's better than ever at the moment. French Raiders, Delali, and most importantly, Facteur Cheval, fresh from Dubai success. And further down, unexposed horses perhaps, like Maljoom and Royal Scotsman, right back on track at Epsom last time. Let's start with a couple of key videos. Let's go back to the QE2 in a mud bath over this course and distance last autumn. Maddie, Big Rock was the boss this day, but we should put in a good word for the runner-up, Facteur Cheval.
Yeah, it was Big Rock's day and the ground suited him. He produced an absolutely standout performance to win this race in sensational style. But the interesting thing there is, Graham, and you touched upon it, is these two horses' careers have gone in different ways since. Big Rock very disappointing in the Lock-in, whereas the last time we saw Facteur Cheval, he won a really competitive, deep international field in the Dubai turf, showing a really strong turn of foot to win, not from a great position. So I think that can be upgraded. He's been prepared ideally for this race. I think the conditions are going to suit him on the track. If the sun keeps shining as it is at the moment, that'll be a problem for Big Rock.
Yeah, I think Facteur Cheval transfers in French as the horse postman. I think he might deliver a first-class performance. Can we forgive Big Rock that really plain performance in the Lock-in, Simon?
No doubt we can. You know, he's a class horse. He showed that here back in the autumn. It all went wrong, Graham, for him at Newbury. He stumbled leaving the stalls. It was a strange old race. The ground didn't suit him at all. He's likely to bounce back. But the thing about the other horse, Facteur Cheval, is that he's a real street fighter. I love the way he knuckled down to the task out in Meydan. He's a fighter, and if he's involved in a battle in that final furlong, he'll come home strong.
Queen Anne Roll of Honour, and it's a rich one, is peppered with the names of horses who didn't quite cut it against the very best at 3, but they made amends and took it up a notch at 4. Step Forward Sharon, who ran really well here. Royal Ascot last year went 3rd in the St James's Palace Stakes, but no doubt nowadays he's an even better model, Simon.
This horse is really making up to be the real deal. I think he's had an exceptional start to the season. Nice win in listed company at Doncaster, won the mile at Sandown in good style. I thought his second at Newbury was a really good effort. What gave me a lot of confidence was speaking to Roger Varian in the week. I spoke to Roger on Thursday. He said, I've never had this horse better. He's getting better and better all the time. I wish the race were today.
I think that stiff, demanding mile, unforgiving straight mile at Ascot is absolutely made for Sharon. A couple of potential up-and-comers. They ran in the listed Paradise Stakes here over course and distance a few weeks ago. Going to talk about Docklands, going to talk about Maljoom. Of the pair, which do you prefer, Maddie, or do you like both?
I like both of them, but I do think Docklands is such an eye-catching horse. You only had to see what he did at this meeting in Handicap Company last year when he travelled so strongly, and I think he was almost the moral winner of that Paradise Stakes. He went for home quite a long way out and then was just caught in the shadows of the post by Coudoir. Maljoom in behind, he's always shown a lot of ability, but he needs to start delivering on it. It wouldn't surprise me if he ran a big race, but he needs to put everything together now.
Let's steal with the Queen Anne. First race of 35 this week. Your top 4, please, Simon.
Well, Sharon is taking on some heavyweights here, but he's progressive. Roger Varian really made me feel confident about this horse's chances. So it's Sharon for me, and for the places, I'm going to go Facteur Cheval, Big Rock and Delali.
Your numbers, Maddie?
For me, I'm going France to win the first race of Royal Ascot 2024. 8 Facteur Cheval, 5 Sharon, 6 Docklands and 11 Maljoom.
8, 5, 1, 2 for me in the Queen Anne. Like Maddie, I think it's a French win in the Queen Anne. Come on, Factor Cheval. Race 2, Royal Ascot Day 1 is the Coventry Stakes, and this is so difficult. A huge number of unexposed 2-year-olds galloping up the 1200 metre straight track here at Royal Ascot. Let's have a look at the runners and riders. A few key players. Godolphin, Al Qudra, getting better with experience, and sight, highly regarded, impressive first time at York. Further down the card, Aidan O'Brien has a wonderful record in this. Camille Pissarro looks his key player this time around. Ryan Moore is on board. Further down we have unexposed horses. Francisco's Peace, a good winner in France last time. Further down, Mr. Chaplin, pretty good winner at Newbury last time. Any number of possibilities here. Simon, I know you like a Northern Raider here. It's Carl Burke's Andersight.
I do indeed, Graham. Carl has got a wonderful complement of 2-year-olds here at Royal Ascot. This, I think, is amongst the best of them. He made a winning debut at York in striking fashion. What I liked about that was the way he acquitted himself in the race. He was professional throughout, but he finished off really strongly. I think that's something that you really need here at this stiff finish at Ascot.
I know you want backup with Camille Pissarro from Aidan O'Brien's stable.
I expect that horse to be thereabouts, put down a good marker in that Navan maiden on debut. I expected the horse to go and win the Marble Hill. Didn't quite finish as strongly as I thought he might, whether or not he went a little bit too soon, but he's up against it with Andersight, who will hit the line strong, but I think Aidan's horse is going to be thereabouts.
I've had a few big price winners of the Coventry Stakes in years gone by. I think your selection, Maddie, is going to be a pretty big price.
Yeah, I fancy another one for a trainer who historically has done really well at Royal Ascot. He's had the largest winning price for any runner at Royal Ascot, and that's Clive Cox. He runs Star Anthem here. This horse was second on his debut to Hawaiian at Newbury, really rallying performance then, and then went and won really impressively at Bath. He's by Star Spangled Banner. He's been winning with Cut in the Ground. This Sunshine will be great for him. I think he could be an improved horse up to 6 furlongs and on a decent surface. The others I want to mention, Coward of the County, I think would probably be my next best. Camille Pissarro, like Simon, I expected him to win last time, but he can put in a bold performance. And Francisco's Peace, very good French form last time out.
We're in the dark about a lot of these horses. It's all about potential, but Coward of the County created a big impression in more ways than one first time out at the Curragh. The horse he beat, Whistle Jacket, has franked the form in no uncertain terms. He's a big, strong, precocious horse trained by Joseph O'Brien. I'm going to go for Coward of the County. But Simon, if you will, Coventry Stakes, first 4, please.
Well, first 4, for me, it's Andersight. Really sweet on this one for the placings. I'm going to go 5, 10 and 14.
My pick, number 17, Star Anthem. Then we're going 9, 5, 11.
Coward of the County for me, number 9. 2, Andersight, and the horse he beat at York, Yamo Be There, number 22, and 11, Francisco's Peace, a good winner in France last time. Any number of possibilities in a wide open Coventry. 9, 2, 22, and 11. Coward of the County on top for me. Race 3 on day 1 at Royal Ascot this year is the King Charles III Stakes, a Group 1 sprint race over 1,000 metres, a big field of high quality international sprinters. Let's have a look at the runners and riders. Look at number 4, Kurdos, never been better than he is at the moment. Likewise, number 5, Regional, comes round from Yorkshire with a major chance. Rogue Lightning, a proven Ascot performer. Twilight Calls has run really well in this race, not once but twice. Asfura is a very speedy, interesting Aussie raider. Believing was very impressive at Haydock last time. Further down the card, have a look at number 12, Big Evs. Very impressive at this fixture last year. Also won at the Breeders' Cup. Valiant Force popped up at 150 to 1 at this meeting last year. He's had a spell in America. You get the picture. Any number of possibilities here. But we'll start with the likely favourite, a 3-year-old, but a very fast 3-year-old. Big Evs was very good in the Windsor Castle here last year, Simon. He was,
Graham, and he proved on the day, of course, that he can acquit himself well over this slightly demanding 5 furlongs, very professional, and of course that was just the start of it, because in winning the Windsor Castle, he really did put down a good marker for what was to come, winning the Molecombe, the Flying Childers, and of course gaining Breeders' Cup glory at the end of the season.
Maddie's come back this season with a pretty decisive win at York. It looks like he's trained on well.
Yeah, it does. That was a decisive victory. I do think the quality of the talent that he's going to face here is going to be a new step up for him. This will be a deeper challenge than the one he faced at the meeting last year, but he certainly looks well equipped to handle it.
Two more pieces of Ascot form we need to look at. Crimson Advocate was trained by American handler George Weaver when she came for the Queen Mary. Let's have a look at that video. A massive field, but she had the very high draw, she raced against the stands rail, and she showed terrific speed. She's changed trainers, she's joined the Gosdens for her second trip to Royal Ascot, and she comes here fresh from a win in America. Let's also have a look at Rogue Lightning. This was Shergar Cup Day last August, a good quality handicap at Ascot, and as you can see, he was pretty impressive. He didn't fire his best shot first time out in the Temple Stakes at Haydock, but let's talk about that race, Simon. Kurdos won it. The Aussie filly, Asfura, showed plenty of speed, and she ought to come on for that run.
Should well come on for the run, but Kurdos, I think, will make giant strides as well. I know Clive Cox is very bullish about his chances. Everything went wrong for this horse first two starts of the year, but it came together nicely in the Temple, and he's set to run a good race from a decent middle draw.
I like regional. I know, Maddie, you like regional. This horse in the last year, he cost 3,500 guineas. In the last year, he's gone from pretty good handicapper to high quality Group 1 horse.
He has, and I think that experience in handicapping fields is what you really need in a race like this. It's fiercely competitive. The 5 furlongs is a stiff finish, and I think this is going to be perfect for him. Of course, he's a top level winner at the further trip of 6 furlongs. I prefer him to Big Ev's purely on the maturity and the last finishing effort. I think he can top him.
Well, I took Hong Kong angles here. A horse called Blue Point finished 9th in the Chairman's Sprint Prize at Sha Tin a few years ago. Came here 7 weeks later, won what was then the King's Stand Stakes. Believing didn't shine in Hong Kong, but last time out at Haydock, Maddie, she was really impressive.
She was really good. It's a muddling sprint division at the moment, and she had her turn. This is going to be a different kettle of fish for her, but she's clearly capable of a high-level performance, and she is still unexposed in these top contests. This more galloping, bigger track will probably suit her more than at Sha Tin.
Twilight Calls is a horse I've had a lot of time for. I've fancied him in this race 2 years running, and he's run well. Might we see Twilight Calls run another good race this time, Simon?
Quite possibly. Another horse who handles this track well, I think needs to improve upon that seasonal reappearance. But just going back to Believing very, very briefly, George Bowie was vocal before the Haydock race that she was nowhere near fully wound up, and he said she actually surprised me that day. She's open to plenty more improvement. She's got to be in the frame.
Okay, this is a tough one. Simon, your first 4, please.
Well, it's Big Evs for me. He gets the £6 weight for age allowance, so Big Evs it is. And for the places, 5, 4 and 9.
I'm going with Regional on top, Graham, number 5, followed by 12 Big Evs, 6 Rogue Lightning. I think he can improve on what he did at Haydock last time, and 1 Diligent Harry is big price to sneak into the frame.
Ground is always important for these big races. If it doesn't rain, and it's not going to rain much, Regional will have perfect conditions for his Royal Ascot bit. He's number 5. 9 Believing was so good at Haydock last time. I think she's come good at the right time. 8 Asfora for the Aussies, and 7 Twilight Calls. 5, 9, 8, 7. The very best of luck, however you play, the King Charles III. Right, this is going to be fun. It is the St James's Palace Stakes. 1,600 metres on the round course. 8 runners. 5 of them, I think, are Group 1 winners. And this is a rich, rich renewal. From the top, Al Makam is up in class, but thriving. Al Yanabi ran well in the Guineas, but not quite well enough to beat the likes of Notable Speech and Rosalian, who reoppose here on the same terms, but on a different track, on a different day. We also have the French Guineas winner, Metropolitan, and we have one of last season's best 2-year-olds, Henry Longfellow, on the comeback trail for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. The 2 people to my left both like the same horse here. So first of all, Maddie Playle, you make your case for why Rosalian should reverse Newmarket form with Notable Speech.
Yeah, I thought he travelled supremely well through that 2,000 guineas at Newmarket, Graham. Perhaps didn't quite handle the dip as well as Notable Speech, and just took time to find his stride up the incline in those final stages. And then if you look at his performance last time at the Curragh in the Irish 2,000 guineas, I think you can upgrade that effort too. He was given quite a lot to do by Sean Levy and just mowed down his stablemate Hartem in the closing stages. We've seen him since Newmarket, obviously, in that Irish race. We haven't seen notable speech. I just think Rosalien is improving. We know he likes Ascot. He's won here before. And I'd rather him out on top at the prices.
Let's have a quick look. Ascot last July, when Rosalien beat Al Yanabi in a race that worked out terrifically well. When we look at this video, Simon, it's hard to make a case for Al Yanabi reversing form with Rosalien.
Very difficult too, because this horse, it was very apparent in the middle of last season that he was going to be an even better model this year. He did nothing but improve throughout the year. I love the Guineas run. I thought that was a really strong effort behind Notable Speech, and of course he left that form behind to become a classic winner in his own right in Ireland last time. Really interesting point made to me this week by Richard Hannon, who trains the horse. He said that he feels he's going to be much better still round the bend on a round track here today and this week, so I think that's really important. This horse is clearly open to improvement. They won this race, the Hannons, with Canford Cliffs back in 2010. Richard said to me just the other day, this is the best horse I've ever had.
Yeah, that's a big call. And the Hannon stable, no strangers to reversing Newmarket Guineas form here in the St James Palace. Canford Cliffs did it with McPhee, Barney Roy did it with Churchill, so there are precedents there. I'm a Notable Speech fan. I thought the way he swaggered into contention at Newmarket was extremely impressive. My one worry for him is potential traffic trouble as a hold-up horse. But let's move on to the French Guineas winner. This is Metropolitan, and if he wins, I suspect I'll lose on this race. He's a classic winner. He was unfancied in the French Guineas. He got the perfect saloon passage. Never had to go round a rival, quickened up nicely, but that was a bunch finish. I'll be surprised, very surprised, if Metropolitan is good enough to beat the best of these. I want to have a quick line from the both of you about Henry Longfellow. He got stuck in heavy Parisian traffic in the French Guineas. Go back to last summer and autumn. He was a pretty impressive two-year-old, Maddie.
He was, and by Dubawi, which is unique for a horse of Coolmore's, so it's clear they're testing the waters with the sires and the pedigrees there. He was very talented as a two-year-old. Aidan O'Brien's comments before his run in the French 2000 Guineas weren't too encouraging. It didn't seem they were expecting a big run. He'll strip much fitter for this, but of the rest of them, I think Al Marquam is one to keep on side. The Heron Stakes winner from Sandown Park last time. Really liked the way he won that race, just the manner of victory and the dominance that he did it with. I think he's an improving horse, still very unexposed, and that race has a very good record at producing winners of this. I think Without Parole was the last.
It's 2 against 1 here. I know that my two partners in crime both like Rosalien. First 4, please, Simon.
Yeah, definitely Rosalien here. So number 7 for me for the places, 6, 1 and 3.
I'm going Rosalien on top, number 7, followed by 6 Notable Speech, 1 Al Marquam and 3 Darlinghurst, another of the French contenders.
He made a big statement at Newmarket, and number 6 Notable Speech can do so again. 7 Rosalien could run him close. 4 Henry Longfellow, much better than he showed in Paris last time, and 2 Al Yanabi for 4th. This is a stellar St James's Palace. Welcome back to Ascot. Race 5 on day 1. Historic handicap. It's the Ascot Stakes, and it is a marathon. It is 2.5 miles, or pretty much, give or take, 4,000 metres. You need an absolute grinder here. Fortunately, we have plenty. Top of the shop is Pied Piper, who ran really well, despite getting no luck in this race a couple of years ago. My Leica from the Willie Mullins stable, who've dominated this race in recent times. Boa Road is an improver. Divine Comedy is in tremendous form. Tritonic ran well in this race 12 months ago. Zandabad looked unlucky in the Chester Cup last time. We've also got Get Shirty, a previous Royal Ascot winner, and Temporize and Pledge of Allegiance, who both ran well here, first and second in a race last year. Let's start with that race. Temporize and Pledge of Allegiance both have a fair bit to recommend them here, Maddie.
They do. I like Temporize on a minor line. He's an incredibly strong stayer, and he likes Ascot. He just keeps finding for pressure, and we see that here in this replay. Showed his best form at Goodwood last year. I think he's going to be there or thereabouts.
I look at that video closely, Simon, and both horses ran really well, but they did so in different ways. Pledge of Allegiance went well clear on soft ground, paid the penalty for that, and then came back at the end. Temporize went on to win at Goodwood. Both horses stay strongly and they're tough.
This horse looked like he'd really strengthened over the winter when he won at Goodwood, Pledge of Allegiance. You see him close up. He's a big, scopy, imposing horse. I think at 4, this is going to be his year. He won with plenty in hand at Goodwood, always doing enough. He's only been nudged up a few pounds for that. Trained by the master Sir Mark Prescott, and he'll have had this race in mind for some time.
One more quick video to look at. It came on Shergar Cup Day last August. Good quality handicap over a slightly shorter trip. The very man gets the best of a good tussle. Berkshire Rocco runs really well in the places. The Grand Vizier is a veteran, but he stays forever and ever. He's well suited to these conditions. And Law of the Sea also ran well. So pay your money, take your choice. The Quinella here will be well worth winning. Give us a bit of inspiration, Simon.
Yes, well, for me, it's going to be Pledge of Allegiance, horse number 18 for Sir Mark Prescott. And for the placings, I'm going to go 1, 3 and 8.
You mentioned him right at the start, Graham. Boha Road for Jarlath Fahy, who won this race in 2016 with Jenny's Jewel. He's back. I think this is a horse to keep on side. He's really improving and he's unexposed on the flat. So it's number 4, Boha Road for me, followed by 3, My Leica, 1, Pied Piper and 15, Temporize.
Okay, if these two aren't going to mention a couple of key principles, I will. We have to mention My Leica, as Maddie just did. William Mullins has got a tremendous record in this race. This horse is hard to assess, but he must have been laid out for this. And Zandabad, Irish trainer Tony Martin won this race a long time ago with a horse called Leg Spinner. Hasn't got his licence at the moment, 1 or 2 disciplinary issues, but happily for Tony, his sister does have a licence. And his sister Kathy now trains Zandabad, who was really unlucky in the Chester Cup last time, met some traffic, came home powerfully. 10 on top from 18, Pledge of Allegiance, 17, the Grand Vizier, and 3, My Leica. This is a tough one. It's the Ascot Stakes. It's not going to be easy finding a winner. Race 6 of 7 on day 1 at Royal Ascot this year is the Wolferton Stakes. It's a listed race, red hot listed race. It's on the round course. It's over 2,000 metres, give or take a few metres, and it looks a wide open race. From the top, Ancient Rome was very good first time out at Goodwood last year. Further down, Astro King is a super tough, high quality handicapper. Botanical has thrived this spring. Looks a big player, especially if there's a little more rain. Semhan looks the natural front runner here. Certain Lad is very tough. Isra has a great chance on his best form, comes up very well on the ratings. And further down, we have Torito, stablemate of Isra, and he was an eye catcher. First time out this season at Newmarket over a slightly shorter trip. I know that Maddie and Simon, you both like Botanical. Let's have a look at him here at Ascot last year. I don't think he was at his very best on this occasion. He ran pretty well, but the ground was pretty fast summer ground. He's definitely gone forward since, both at Hamilton and York, Simon.
He's taken a giant stride forward, Graham, especially on the Knavesmire last time out. He won a handicap in easy style. He's gone up £10 for the win, hence he's in a better grade now. This horse could be anything. He could certainly be a solid group horse by the end of the year. Travels well, he's got the gears, he's got everything really, but has he got the ground?
You like him as well, don't you, Maddie?
I really do. I thought what he did at York was deeply impressive in the style of a really improving horse, and that's what you tend to want for this race. It's a warning. It's a hard one for punters to find the winner of. A favourite hasn't won it for quite a while now, but I think it's wise to side with the younger up-and-coming horses. It's a really tricky one.
So let me try and cover all bases here. If Botanical happened to come out because of the ground, and it's happened before, which one would you like, Simon?
I'm really sweet on Israel. I think whatever happens, if Botanical does run, he'll still run a big race for the Gosdens and for Jim Crowley. He hasn't been winning, but he's run some solid races in defeat, including at Chester recently.
Touch on the second at Ascot. I think it was the Cumberland Lodge Stakes, 1.5 miles. He gets run down late, having made a big move, Isra. Did he give it away that day, Maddie?
He's one that I don't necessarily think is one to trust fully. For me, if you're asking for other horses to bring into the picture, I think you've got to give Ancient Rome a mention. This horse, who used to be trained by Andre Fabre, has got some very classy back form and took his form to a pretty good level for Charlie Hills, winning at Goodwood, and then went out and won a very valuable race in the States. If he's back and he's in good form, I think he'll be there.
Gosdens looking to blossom this week, and they have another strong contender here in Torito. We've seen him several times. We saw him here last year running a really good race in the Hampton Court Stakes. This is a horse we have to take seriously, I think, Simon.
We do. He actually came home first in his group when we saw him on reappearance. It was probably a better run than the figures suggested. They've left a bit to work on. He's open to a fair bit more improvement.
Okay, let's deal with this race one by one. I know you both like Botanical. Give me your numbers and your second choice as well, if you could.
Okay, well, for me, it is Botanical. So 5, 9, 4 and 1. If Botanical doesn't go, it's Isra for me, horse number 9, dropping in grade and dropping in trip as well. I think he's the one to beat.
Like Simon, I'm a big Botanical fan, so he's number 5, followed by 1, 6 and 10.
I like Isra here. It's true that he's found winning difficult, but he's been in pretty deep, especially against the high-class Passenger last time at Chester. There are no passengers in this race. It's going to be tough. But I'm happy to go with 9, Isra, 5, Botanical, 16, Torito, and 8, Haunted Dream to fill out the frame in the Wolferton Stakes. It's not meant to be easy to back winners here at Royal Ascot. Let's try, though. It is the finale on day 1, the Copper Horse Handicap, round about 2,800 metres. All sorts of high quality horses on show. Top of the shop is Al Sakib, who was good here last September. Further down, we have Tyson Fury looking to deliver a knockout blow. A Piece of Heaven has been thriving in Ireland. Bellocchio is from the trainer, Willie Mullins, who provided a runaway winner in Vauban in this race last year. Fox Journey was mighty impressive at Newmarket. Intinso is proven at Ascot and a solid, consistent horse. And further down, intriguing Irish Raider, good quality jumper, My Mate Mozzie. All sorts of options here. But I think you two are both going on the same journey, Fox Journey. Maddie, tell me about this horse.
Yeah, this horse has got some really eye-catching form, including when he was 3rd in the Melrose at York last year. That race is always an incredibly competitive and well-thought-out race. He ran really well to finish 3rd, and last time he looked an absolute superstar when winning at Newmarket, put a distance between himself and his rivals. He's really finding his feet now. He's proved he already stays 2 miles with an effort at Kempton previously, but I think this trip is exactly what he wants. He's up in the handicap for that big win last time, but I think there's a bit of dead wood in this race, and he's not one of them. He's a very, very talented horse, Fox Journey.
I'll put the flip side of this coin. This Fox Journey has shown his hand to the handicapper in a big way, and that Guineas meeting threw up a lot of wide margin winners for some strange reason. But that's not going to put you off him, Simon, is it?
It isn't. 11 lengths, by the way, was his winning margin. As Maddie said, it was a win of some authority. What I like is that kind of progress from 3 to 4. First time up to produce a power-packed performance like that was mightily impressive. This horse will be contesting better races by the end of the year. This is a stepping stone, and he's the one to beat.
Video time. Let's have 2 of them. Ascot form's always a plus. Here goes Al Sakib. I think it was 1.5 miles here at Ascot last September, and he comes home very powerfully. He's been in deep in 2 runs this season, both in group races, and he hasn't been disgraced. He heads the weights, but he's a pretty smart horse. Then let's move on further down the weights to Intinso, who's no star, but he's a good stayer, he's consistent, he's honest, and he's got solid Ascot form. Maddie, of those 2, Intinso and Al Sakib, which you prefer?
Yeah, it's Al Sakib for me, Graham. That run at Chester last time, he was, in theory, supposed to be out of his depth there in the Ormonde Stakes, but ran on really well to finish 3rd. He has got a lot of weight here, which would be my concern, but I do think he's going to run a solid race.
I'm all over the Irish here. I want your opinion, Simon, on Bellocchio, who is a pretty good horse for David Manoissier. He's gone to Willie Mullins. He bolted up first time over hurdles. You have to think that he's been laid out for this, and it's worth repeating. Vauban from the same stable made this race look like a cakewalk 12 months ago.
Yeah, had some fairly classy form, didn't he, for David Manoissier, his previous trainer. Some nice form in listed company. He looks as though he's primed for this. This has clearly been the target for some time. Couldn't put you off. Quick word on Al Sakib. I think he's looked this year like he needs a real trip. He's got that today. He's got to be in the mix as well, but there's only one for me.
Give me your numbers then.
Well, okay, it's number 9 for me here, Fox Journey, for Ryan Moore and Sir Michael Stout, and for the places 1, 3 and 11.
It's always nice when we agree, isn't it, with our colleagues. Gives us some confidence. I'm with Fox Journey number 9, followed by 1, 8 and 5.
The odd one out again here. I'm going to go with Bellocchio. It's just a vote for Willie Mullins, really. He knows exactly what's needed in these races. 8 Bellocchio on top. 16 My Mate Mozzie has been primed for this by canny Gavin Cromwell. 7, A Piece of Heaven. They think that horse might be a Melbourne Cup contender. Needs to go very close here if that's the case. And 5, Tyson Fury. This is tough. It's not meant to be easy, but 8, Bellocchio. Good luck in a Copper Horse.